Hello and good evening. If you're catching me live, let me know down below where you're tuning in from. If this is the first time you've caught me live, I am Dr. Brenda Roach, but you can call me Brenda because it's just much easier. And this is a series that I'll be doing still over the next several months. And we're on part 5 tonight about taking back your life, on how to get a much better, well-rounded life, is what this series is about. And if you haven't caught, hey Mary, glad you joined me. Your trip looked amazing, by the way. That was so exciting to see all the posts that you made. Hey Kay, glad you're joining me. And so again, this is a series that I've been doing this is our 5th week of it. If you haven't caught the first 4 weeks, I would encourage you to go back, hey Skylar, and catch the first 4 weeks of this. Hey Dee Dee, glad you joined me. Because it'll make much more sense if you watch it kind of from the beginning of the series. If you haven't caught those first 4 parts of the series, if you let me know down below in the comment section, hey Kelsey, just put down in the comment section, please tag me, and I'll tag you in the first 4 videos so that you don't have to try and find them in Facebook land. So if you let me know that, I'll tag you in the first 4. But tonight we're really going to be talking about, again, continuing this series on taking back our life. If this makes sense to you, please give me some thumbs up, give me some loves, let me know that it's making sense to you. Also, if you're catching this live or by replay and you think it could be helpful for somebody else, please feel free to share it as well. And so tonight we are going to be talking about the difference between our 3 states of mind: our wise mind, our rational mind, reasonable mind, and our emotion mind. So this is kind of let me see if I can get this lined up here. So this is kind of the 3 states of mind that we're going to be talking about. Hey Nancy, glad you joined me. And so we have an emotion mind, a reasonable mind, and then our wise mind. And there's times that all of us use these different states of mind, and there's times when they're all helpful. But when we think about our rational mind is when we really are using our mind and making decisions based on fact. And so we're really kind of coming from an intellectual level. And there's times when that is really helpful. In fact, if you all think about and put it down in the comment section down below, when do you think a decision that you've maybe made in the past, that you've used your rational mind or reasonable mind, just kind of going from facts, and that was helpful for you? Because there are decisions that we really do need to just think about facts and just use kind of our rational, reasonable mind and not bring any emotion into it. So if you can think about when that you think that might be helpful, put that down in the comment section. Our emotional mind is when we purely let our emotions and our feelings kind of run our behaviors, and our decisions are based purely on kind of our emotion. And again, there's times when that also can be effective and can be really helpful and important in our life, because we want to sometimes hey Aztec, glad you joined me. There's times in our life when we do want to just feel pure joy. And so if we don't allow ourselves to just have that emotional mind, that can be really helpful. But there's other times, if we use just our emotional mind, we can also act pretty impulsively. And so that's the time, hey Aztec, that's when it's really not that helpful. And so tonight we're going to be talking about our wise mind, and when we use our wise mind as we're making decisions that really are going to really help us make better decisions, keep a better balanced life. And that's what we're really talking about, is taking back our life. And how can we use our wise mind, which is really a balance between our reasonable mind and our emotional mind. So it's taking into consideration our feelings and emotions, but also kind of thinking about it from a rational perspective. And so it's kind of that combination right in the middle. And really in life, most of the time, if we can stay in our wise mind, we're going to make better decisions for ourselves and for others in our life. And so there's going to be a couple different ways that I'm going to talk about how that you over the next week can really practice using your wise mind. And so I would encourage you again to take these principles and practice them throughout the next week. So throughout the day, what you can do is to just stop and really ask your wise self or your wise mind for guidance on really start with some simple kind of decisions you have to make. Maybe it's what book you're going to read or what movie you're going to watch. And so really starting off with some really simple things to really kind of go into that wise mind and thinking about that. Pay attention to the answers that just kind of randomly pop into your head when you ask yourself those questions. You might see an image or hear a voice or get that gut feeling or gut sense of the right choice that you want to make at that time. You might wonder if the choice is based on your wise mind or just imagination. But don't worry, it really is. It takes some practice, asking for guidance consistently in your wise mind. So really thinking about it really does, it helps your wise mind pay attention. And so you'll start to use your wise mind a lot more. And over time, you'll find it a lot easier to recognize that voice in your head of your wise mind. Hey, Tammy, glad you're here. But until then, just pay attention to what happens when you really kind of stop and look at it and think about what can I do, to use my wise mind? How can I think about it? What can I stop and say to myself? So stop and ask yourself for that guidance on simple decisions. Pay attention to signals and then act on them. And so that can be a really important way. Another way that you can do it is to use the journal. We've been talking about journaling, and I hope all of you have been doing that and really following through on these things that I've been talking about the past 4 weeks, because they really are some great habits to get into that are really going to continue to make sense as I continue this series. And again, if you haven't caught the first 4 weeks, let me know. Down below, just say tag me and I'll tag you in the first 4 videos so that you don't have to try and find them in Facebook land. So when we use our journal and really practicing our wise mind, what you want to do is you want to, just kind of write a letter to yourself or letters to yourself using your wise mind, because it's really an effective way to establish that connection again between your rational mind and your emotional mind. Using your journal, just start writing a letter that begins with Dear Wise Self or Dear Wise Mind, and say whatever comes to mind as you're making that decision. Let your thoughts flow really easily without editing them. All right, so just let them flow out onto the paper. Write until you feel complete. And then finish the letter by really kind of asking some key questions. Writing to yourself the questions such as, what is the best choice for me to make? So really looking at that. I have a big decision I'm making right now too in my life, and I started this last evening, and it's really, really helpful. What's the best direction for me to head in? What's standing in the way of me moving forward? And what do I need to learn? So those are some really simple kind of questions that you can ask after you've done that writing and really kind of just put down your thoughts in a wise mind state. And this is the letter you're writing to your wise self and wise mind. Focus your energy really on the questions as you write them down. Sit quietly and enter kind of into a really receptive state. So you got to have that time for yourself. So taking that time to really do it and really put into it and really think about it. You can do this kind of by imagining an empty bowl in your mind and just waiting for the answer. Or you can remember a time when you felt, real deep love. As you feel your heart and mind opening, quietly wait for that response to kind of come to your mind. And when it feels right, just slowly start writing again, if you have that block. Let whatever comes to mind, just fill that page. And in the beginning, you might hear things, your self-critic kind of saying things to yourself. Oh, this is foolish, or this is just my mind making up the answers. But it really is you. It's you that's creating the answers. But you will connect your wise mind to yourself. So put the answers down, and what you'll do is once you start noticing that you really start using your wise mind, you'll start noticing on how your decisions really do. They're much more fulfilling, and you will have better luck at the outcomes as well. So that's one way to use your wise mind and to practice that over the week. Another way to do that is to basically, it's one of my favorite, but you have to be careful of where you do it. You don't want to do this like when you're in the middle of a group, because you want to find yourself when you find yourself faced again with a dilemma or a question, just stand up and ask your wise mind, wise self out loud. So for example, if you need help with how to proceed with a particular project, or we'll just stick with a project, stand up. Using your firm voice, say, okay, wise self, I need your help on this project. I'm stuck and I don't know how to move forward. What should I do? And again, say it out loud. And again, you don't want to do this in the middle of the group. So pick a time when you're alone that you can really kind of process through it. And then notice the first thing that comes to your mind. Does a person's name pop into your head? A piece of information. Hey, Laura, glad you joined me. A piece of information or a place to go as you're making that. Hey, Tanika, glad you joined me. Nothing at all might come into your mind after you say that. So again, if you're catching this, I'd encourage you to go back to the very beginning and catch it. If you haven't caught the first 4 weeks of this series, let me know down below. Say tag me and I'll tag you in those first 4 videos so you don't have to try and find them. But whatever response comes into your head when you say that out loud, what you want to do is you want to follow through with action, all right? Because it doesn't do any good to do the first parts of this if you don't follow through with action. So call the person that you thought of and ask them for help. Follow up on the piece of information that you thought about. Go to the place that popped into your mind. Or if the response was nothing, just stop doing what you're doing and just relax for a little bit. And as you start to rely on your wise mind and wise self for guidance, you'll find yourself, hey, Toya, glad you joined me. You'll find yourself naturally making better choices, the best choices of your life. You want to stay open, really listen to your inner voice. And most important, you want to act on it. So if you've been following me again, this is the 5th week of a series that's going to go on for several more months. I want to say congratulations. That you've been really following along. You should have, you've been really doing the activities that I've been giving you. You will have started a change in your life. You'll started using healthy habits. And again, for those of you that are joining me for the first time this evening, if you just put tag me down below in the comment section, I'll tag you on the first 4 videos so you don't have to try and locate them. But this really is helpful to try, if you've been following along and if you go back and do this, it really in the long run is the goal of all of this is to help you find better balance in your life. And I'm so thankful that all of you are going on this journey with me as well as I do the same thing and really are trying to find a better balance in my life as well. Because some important things to remember is your life is not your work. And that was a hard one for me to get to. Put yourself on the top of your to-do list. Hey, Dee Dee, I will tag you. Put yourself at the top of your to-do list. We never do that. We're always at the bottom or we're not even on our to-do list most of the time. And let yourself practice that self-care we've been talking about for the last 5 weeks. It really will help you build that strong foundation for a high quality life. Start being selfish because you deserve it. We have to be thinking about ourselves in order to be there for other people and really provide that and have a balanced life. We have to start looking at that. Getting to know yourself over the last 5 weeks, including this week. Hopefully if you've been following along, you'll have gotten to know yourself a lot better. You'll start connecting your head with your heart. I know that's happened for me a lot over the last 5 weeks. And you'll start listening to your wise mind, which is really, really important. So I hope you found this helpful again. Thinking about, again, when you're using your wise mind versus your emotional mind or rational mind. And really think about that. If you found some value in this, please let me know. Give me some loves. Let me know that you found it value. Now, next week, I do have a little change because I usually tune in at 7:30 Mountain Standard Time. But next week, I took a step and I'm doing some self-care and I'm flying home to see my mom. And I'm going to a concert. I can't even remember what concert it is, to be honest. But I'm flying home. So I will be flying next Thursday evening. And so I will be at the Minneapolis airport. So I'll actually be tuning in next week at 7:30 Central Time instead of 7:30 Mountain Time. So Mountain Time, thank you, Kelsey. So next week it'll be 6:30 Mountain Time, 7:30 Central Time on when I will be coming online next time. And we're starting another part of this series where we're really talking about how to set priorities. So we're going to talk a lot about setting our priorities for the next 4 weeks, starting this next Thursday. So again, if you found value in this, let me know. If you think this could be helpful for other people, please forward it on and share it. And again, put down below if you want me to tag you in the first 4 videos of this so you don't have to try and search for them. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hey, Mary, thank you. I will have fun with my mom. And hopefully I'll be able to see some people from my hometown and people I went to high school with. So I'll be making sure everyone knows that I'm coming to town and give you some times that I'm available that we can all get together, which I'll really, really enjoy as well. So I hope you all have a great evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you're tuning in from. Again, if you catch this on replay, put hashtag replay down below and let me know where you're tuning in from. Again, I really appreciate all of you tuning in each week, and I hope you're finding value in it. So thank you. Until next week, you have a great week, and I look forward to hearing about how you've used your wise mind over the last week.